What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, we're talking some transfer tips for Game Week 26. So looking at some popular transfers in and out and deciding whether it's a good move or not. There are some players in here that are very good that I'm not necessarily sure are worth buying this week. So it might be a bit controversial. I'm sure you'll give me your opinions in the comments below once you've heard what I've got to say. So if you enjoy it, give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here as well. Let's jump into it. We spoke about Ronaldo last week. He had about 50,000 transfers out. I've got to be honest, I thought it was a little bit crazy to get rid of him before a double game week, right? Even if he blanks against Brighton, I stand by that. Little bit different this week, 116,000 transfers out so far. And to be honest, there's not really too many reasons to keep him. Like, I can try and be balanced for the sake of it, right? Obviously, if you're using Ronaldo to fund a move to Salah, absolutely happy days. If you've got a different route to Salah and then Ronaldo becomes a hit for another striker, then it does get a little bit different because Leeds away is a pretty good fixture, right? So if you get, say, 1 goal in that fixture and 2 bonus points, that's 8 points. The striker you bring in has got to score at least 12. But to be honest, I've got Ronaldo and I'm almost certainly going to sell him because I would happily take that gamble in a double game week. And also, in a lot of cases, it will set you up better for the future as well, because from game week 28 onwards, Man United's fixtures are pretty poor anyway. And if Cavani comes back at any point for Leeds or Watford, there's every chance that Ronaldo will miss out as well, because after Brighton, it's Leeds and then there's a Champions League game. So if Cavani's back fit, he becomes a problem. So for the sake of being balanced, you could hold him for Leeds and hope he gets a big score and that your double game week player doesn't kind of do that well. But I think the player you bring in almost certainly sets you up for future game weeks as well. So it's not just about this week, it's about future weeks as well. So Ronaldo is a good sell. I'm probably going to be doing it this week. Now, I won't go into Kane versus Son, but I don't think that Kane is a bad straight swap transfer, to be honest with you. If you have to use additional transfers to get to Son, it doesn't really help you with other moves or future moves. I don't really see why you wouldn't just go straight to Harry Kane. I know that one of the games is Man City away, but the other one's Burnley. It's not too bad. The way I think Spurs have been a little bit unlucky. I think Man United and Spurs have been a little bit unlucky not to score a few more goals. Like against Wolves, like Spurs could have got at least one. Man United, I know they've drawn 3 times in a row now, 1-1, but there should have been more goals in those games. But Harry Kane in particular, I think, is good going forward because he's nailed Leeds in 27. I think it's Everton in 28 as well. So pretty decent fixtures, and he is just a good straight swap. Outside of that, it gets a bit more kind of team dependent, right? So I think Lacazette's a pretty good option depending on what you're doing in game week 27, okay? So Brentford at home and Wolves at home is pretty good. He's a nailed player, mostly plays the 90 minutes, not all the time, right? He has played 90, 90, 70, 90, 80. Arsenal have also got no European competition either, and they've had quite a bit of rest recently because of the games they've missed out. So I think that he's looking pretty good. And on penalties too. And Brentford at home, Wolves at home, apart from Liverpool's fixtures, are probably the 2 best fixtures. But he doesn't play in 27. So if you are free hitting in game week 27, you could argue that if you've got the money, Lacazette is the best replacement, because straight after that, once you free hit him out, you get him in for Watford away, and there is an outside chance, and I'll go into this a little bit more on the game week preview later on this week, that Arsenal could double in game week 28 or 29, and both the 28 and 29 fixtures are good, and it would be against Chelsea, so it's not necessarily the most ideal extra fixture, but it is another game nonetheless. So you have 2 really good double game week fixtures. You free hit him out in 27. Then you got 2 more good fixtures. Villa aren't playing amazingly well at the moment either. Who knows by the time we get to game week 30? I mean, it is towards the end of March. It's a little while away. And the fixtures are just good. And at some point, you know, most of us are going to wildcard anyway if we haven't already used it. So I think Lacazette's good if you're going to free hit in 27. If you're not, you have to manage how many players you've got that week. So you're going to have to look at it for your own team. So Kane's a good straight swap. I think Lacazette's decent as well. The other options are Weghorst, who I've spoken about quite a bit. If he's fit, he could be an option. The other one as well, just really quickly, is Jimenez. Now, with Raul Jimenez, his underlying stats are not that great, and they haven't been all season. So goal threat rise, it's not been brilliant. But he does have some fairly decent fixtures. Like the double isn't great because of the Arsenal away game, but Leicester at home is pretty decent. He does play in game week 27 as well, so no worries if you're not free hitting. The fixture run after that is pretty good. Palace, Everton away, Leeds at home. And more importantly, he's definitely going to play in game week 30. So for those of you with 1 free hit chip left that are maybe trying to save it for after game week 30, he's going to play all the way through and has a double this week. So I think Ronaldo, decent sell, good straight swap to Kane. Kane. If not, Lacazette if you're free hitting in 27. Otherwise, look at Jimenez or Weghorst. Obviously, Weghorst has got double back-to-back, or yeah, back-to-back double game weeks. Easy to say. I know what you're thinking. You're talking about forward replacements for Ronaldo. You didn't mention BROJA. Bam, here he is. I thought he deserved his own little section, right? So we've just talked about double game week only players, okay? Kane, Jimenez, and Lacazette. But what if you want a player that's a good enabler and has really good upcoming fixtures, and obviously is super cheap, right? Which is why he's enabler, 5.3 million. I do think BROJA is not a bad transfer in this week if it's enabling you to get other double game week players that you really want. I don't necessarily think that he's better than Jimenez or better than Lacazette, but obviously for his price, he does a lot for your team. So arguably he could be better than those for different reasons. And he's been transferred in by nearly 70,000 managers already. Can we say he's 100% nailed? I don't know if we can, because at times this season he has missed games. But right now, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, he's only not started once against Spurs. He's got 6 goals, 2 assists this season. I really like him. He's already in my team. I bought him in last week. And to be honest, I'm not going to go out of my way not to play him. I think Everton at home is not a bad fixture. And if you're not free hitting or you haven't wildcarded recently, there's not this must-have need for your team to have 11 double game week players anyway. And the good thing as well, if we're talking about kind of chip strategy and stuff like that, is he plays in game week 27. It's a decent enough fixture against Norwich. The fixtures afterwards are good. Villa away and Watford at home. You know, that is not a bad fixture run at all. And in game week 30, he may play. Now, this isn't guaranteed yet. Again, I'll go into this a bit more in the game week preview. But if West Ham beat Southampton in the FA Cup, then that game week 30 fixture will be on as well. And then game week 31 is Leeds away. Now, I'm not going to go too much in, again, to chip strategy and stuff like this in this video. But from what I've seen from my team, I'm probably going to wildcard after game week 30. But most people's game week 31 teams are probably going to look okay. So unless there's a massive double game week in 31 or even like a smaller double game week, then I don't think we're going to need to wildcard that week. So the fact he also has Leeds away then is decent. So I don't really have too much bad stuff to say about him. 100% nailed? Maybe not. But the fact that he started 9 of the last 10 makes me pretty happy to own him. And he's just looked really good, right? Against Man United, looked decent, didn't get his goal, fair enough, but he looked good. Got a goal against Spurs, looked good in there. I think a lot of Chelsea fans want him back at Chelsea. So if you need an enabler, and you also need someone that definitely plays in 27 with a good fixture, BROJA could be a man up front. So Reguilon, right, I think I need to hold my hands up and say it was probably a mistake bringing him in. Although the annoying thing is, I even knew myself that he wasn't 100% nailed on, right? I never pretended that he was, and I think I even tweeted to FPL Focal to say he'll start most games, but he's not completely nailed, which is probably still true, right? What's happened against Wolves, we already knew was possible, but it has kind of spooked me a little bit because I thought he would be a dead cert for Southampton and Wolves, and then maybe get rotated in the double, and then hopefully play kind of Leeds and Everton. So the fact that with a week until the next Premier League game, he's been rested or rotated out, and Sessegnon's played that. I know Sessegnon came off early, but from what I could see, that wasn't due to his fault. It was just the fact that Spurs were kind of down a couple of goals, and Conte wanted to change it. So he brought on Kulusevski and changed formation. So is Reguilon going to start both the games in the double? I don't know if he is, to be honest. And the problem is, he could start Man City and then get rested against Burnley, and then maybe play Leeds. The problem with game week 27 is if you're not free hitting. Like if I was free hitting in 27, would I include Reguilon? No, I definitely wouldn't, right? If I'm not free hitting, then a lot of people have got 3 Liverpool players and maybe 1 or 2 Arsenal players as well. It's already there's already a lack of options off the bench because a lot of players are not playing. So having Reguilon as a worry as well does, like right now, and things could change before the deadline, I'm a little bit tempted to sell him. The problem is there's not a huge amount of options. Right? I can't get to Robertson. I've got 3, or I will have 3 Liverpool players when I get Salah in. You could go to an Arsenal player like Tierney, maybe Gabriel as well if you wanted to be maybe even safer with minutes. But Tierney is probably the one I'd go for if you're free hitting in 27, because obviously he's going to miss out straight away. If you're not, then that makes it a little bit more difficult. And then the options for the double, because if you're selling him this week, you want to bring in a double game week player, right? You're not going to sell him with at least 1 start in the double for a player that's only playing once. I just don't think it's worth it, unless there's an enabler you need, but I don't think most people are going to. So the other option is like a Wolves defender, but like I said, it's Leicester at home and Arsenal away. How many are they going to get 2 clean sheets there? I'm just not so sure. I know Wolves' defence is decent. They've hardly conceded, like I said yesterday, they've only conceded 3 more goals, I think, than Man City, which is really good. But Leicester at home, Arsenal, I'm just not sure about it. But then they do play in 27, they do play in 30. So as a long-term move, it could be decent. So right now, I'm siding with selling him for maybe Tierney myself. And I think if it works for your team, you could also sell him for Sice or Semedo from Wolves as well. I don't really see too many other options that you go for. Maybe a Burnley defender, someone like Tarkowski, because they've got a double this week and a double game week in 27. So you guarantee yourself 2 starts this week and next week. So I am siding with selling him. I'm just not 100% sure on which way I'm going to go, because I do think there's a chance he plays against Man City and he doesn't play against Burnley, and that would worry me. If he starts both games, then I definitely don't think he needs to be sold. So if there was like an injury to Sessegnon or something like that, you might change your mind. But I do think I'm just going to have to hold up my hands. And for those of us that own him, we might just have to cut our losses and get rid of him this week. If you own him, let me know below, what are you doing with him this week? So this might be a little bit controversial, but I don't know if now is the best time to buy Bowen. And I'm saying this as a FPL manager that owns him, that's not considering selling him, that's happy to have him against Newcastle, will happily play him against Wolves as well. And whether or not I sell him after that, we'll have to wait and see what happens with kind of other fixtures and stuff like that as well. Not really right now. It's although we need to look ahead because of blanks and stuff like that and chips. It's also difficult to look too far ahead because everything just feels like a complete mess right now. But to bring him in, which nearly 70,000 managers have done, like, he's not really an enabler at 7 million. So if you're getting him in, you're probably doing it without getting a double game week player in instead. And I just think, although Newcastle is a really good fixture, although they have been playing better recently, obviously since the January signings, but it's a decent fixture. Wolves at home is okay, and the fact it's a home game makes it alright. But then Liverpool away is difficult. Villa at home, again, is okay. These aren't like standout fixtures, Norwich, Watford, etc. And Spurs away in game week 30. I mean, if Spurs keep defending like they have done against Southampton and Wolves, then maybe that's a perfectly good fixture. But they could make that difficult. And also, if West Ham beat Southampton in the FA Cup, then that fixture will be off anyway. So if you're bringing him in, I just think someone like Rafinha, fixtures in 27 and 30, double game week in 26, even though it's not the most easy set of fixtures, right, Liverpool, Man United, I still think I'd rather take that gamble with a better fixture run afterwards than I would to buy Bowen right now. Same thing, if you're free hitting in 27, then getting Saka for a really good double game week this week, a really good fixture in 28, an outside shot at a double, that feels like a better transfer than Bowen. You could even take a punt on Zaha as well. Coutinho, for example, I don't know if I would go for him ahead of Bowen, right? They've not got any doubles right now. They might have them soon. And although the fixtures are better, I think Bowen has done enough, right? I mean, he has got a ridiculous amount of goals and assists so far this season. I know he's in great form. I know these goals might not dry up. But I don't know. I'm just thinking, if I didn't already own him, first of all, I'd be super frustrated that I missed out on lots of points. But I just don't know if Newcastle at home is the time to buy him. So if you own him, you probably keep for now. We might have to talk about selling him at some point. And yes, we'll take into account value and stuff like that. But we are starting to get towards the end of the season. And at some point, big decisions will have to be made. And if he hasn't got any more double game weeks or anything like that, and the fixtures are poor, there is maybe reason to sell him to someone else. Right now, I'm saying keep. Definitely keep for Newcastle at home. But if you haven't got him, I think I'd probably look elsewhere right now. Just sell him. Like, I don't really think there's much point in waiting any longer. Obviously, wait till the deadline, fair enough, to make your decisions. But I think it's time to sell. Like, Spurs at home, Man United at home, they're not bad fixtures. Obviously, Man City, no team is really a bad fixture for Man City. They score plenty of goals, but Bernardo Silva hasn't for a while. I know he went on that hot streak, but hot streaks don't always continue. And it definitely hasn't here. And I just don't really see any reason why anyone would want to keep him in the team. Like, people keep saying that people are being patient with Antonio, and fair enough, he's done nothing. But at least he's taken a forward spot up where no forwards are really doing anything right now. Whereas Bernardo Silva, there's a lot of midfielders that I kind of like Salah, Rafinha I just talked about, Saka, obviously a lot of people have got Bowen as well. There's quite a few midfielders, and I don't think Bernardo Silva is one of those that we should have. So top options, if you need someone in 27 and 30, get Rafinha. If you're free hitting in 27, then I quite like Saka. And like I said, Zaha, Coutinho, Bowen, they're all probably better options than Bernardo Silva is right now. Just sell him. There we go. Let me know below who you are transferring in and out this week, or who your early thoughts are and how many hits are you taking. Regulon owners, what are you doing? I'm definitely siding with selling him, but I'm not 100% sure on that right now. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below if there's any particular videos you want to see for Double Game Week 26 as well. Obviously, got content planned already for the rest of the week, but I might be able to fit in an extra video or two if needed. So let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you again tomorrow.